Hi everyone, this is Mr. Michael here with Teton Literacy Center's Club Chaos. Today we're going to be having fun reading, working on a fun project, and we're going to do everything with supplies that you have from home. So what we're going to be talking about today is pirates and treasure hunts. Each week this video will follow the same format. Our first few minutes will be Did You Know?, where we're going to discover a new fun fact about what we're going to talk about. Then we're going to have a quick interactive part of the video where we're going to do a breathing exercise to help you relax and get in a correct learning mindset. Then we're going to talk about our vocabulary word for the day. We're going to read a book together, and then we're going to work on our project. And then after the video, you'll still have extra time to work on your project. So this week's project is to create your own treasure hunt for a family member to then do. Okay, so let's get started in this video, and I'm going to share my screen with you all, and we'll follow PowerPoint as we do the video. So we'll start with Did you know? Did you know that Blackbird was the most feared of all of the pirates? Blackbeard was a really terrifying pirate all over the world. Before capturing a ship, sometimes Blackbird would weave hemp into his beard and light his own beard on fire just to make people really scared of him. And for today, we have one extra Did You Know slide. There were women pirates too. Being a pirate wasn't just for men. Famous female pirates include Mary Read, Anne Bonny, Grace O'Malley, and Chin Shing. Okay, now that we've done our Did You Know section, we're going to do a little roller coaster breathing just to settle down. This is the same activity that we did last week. So we're going to start with one of our hands. We're going to put it on the base of our thumb, our pointer finger, and we're going to go up, and at the apex of our fingers, we're going to be breathing in, and then you're going to hold for a second, and then you're going to breathe out as you come down into the valleys of our fingers. So let's all start from the beginning. And then I'm going to do my other hand too, just because it really helps me get relaxed. Okay, I definitely feel a lot more relaxed now. So let's talk about our vocabulary word for the day now that we're all ready to learn. Our vocabulary word for today is absurd. This word is in our book that we're about to read. So let's see if we can use our context clues to help us learn what it means, if we don't already know what it means. Okay, now it's time for our read aloud. Today we are going to read a book about pirates called Are You the Captain? This book has a lot of rhyming and it's really fun. This pirate ship be ready, hollered First Man Hugh. We've hammered nails, chipped off the snails, and even washed the crew. We've mopped and swabbed and scrubbed it. We've cleaned the crow's nest out. There's one thing, though, before we go, that we can't do without. We need a pirate captain to lead us on this trip, to make demands, shout out commands, and not take any lip. We all recall our last one, that scurvy sea dog Sid, never beaten till he got eaten by that giant squid. The pirates sat there waiting till First Mate Hugh cried, "Look, you see that guy who's rowing by? His left hand is a hook. Are you the pirate captain? Your hook is quite a sight. Was it a shark that left its mark in some almighty fight?" What do we think? The man said, I'm no pirate. This here's a pleasure boat. And what you took to be a hook is a hanger from my coat. The next chap had a parrot. He yelled, it must be fate. In fact, I'll bet this pirate's pet will squeak pieces of 8. Are you the pirate captain? Not at all, young fella. How absurd. It's clear this bird is part of my umbrella. So here we see our vocabulary word for the day, absurd. Not at all, young fella. How absurd. So what do we think the word absurd means in this context? I think in this case, it might mean ridiculous or not sensible, illogical. So it doesn't make any sense that he's the pirate captain because the bird is just part of his umbrella and it's nothing more. And that's what he's saying when he says absurd. Along the docks, a man held a scroll torn down the fold. Scurvy Sids. Our missing scrap of treasure map. It's sure to lead to gold. Are you the pirate captain? Our map clutched in your fist. This ain't no map, replied the chap. This here's me shopping list. He needs 2 barrels of grog, sea salt, scurvy soup, and a few other things. Then in the gloom they spotted a glistening silver blade, 2 gold teeth, and underneath a beard tied in a braid. Are you the pirate captain? Sadly no, m'hearty. This pirate gear I'm wearing here is for a dress-up party. But let me help you find one with courage, brains, and heart. You'll need one who will lead your crew and not just look the part. Who got this ship all ship-shape? Who organized the crew? Who mopped the sails, removed the snails? Who, I ask? Who? The pirates had the answer. We know what we must do. We've all agreed, the one to lead is Pirate Captain Hugh. Yes, Hugh's the pirate captain. He's clever, brave, and bold. So raise a cheer for a buccaneer with a heart of solid gold. And then right at the end, there's a fun, like a song or a poem that you can read. We'll read the poem together now. We found a pirate captain to give us all commands. So finally we're off to sea in search of distant lands. All hail the pirate captain. Give him your loyalties. We cannot fail as we set sail across the 7 seas. Ho diddle ho and hey diddle hey, weigh the anchor we sail today. Hey diddle hey and ho diddle ho, hoist the flag and off we go. If you want to pause the video here and read this again, it's really fun to read and it might be fun for you too. And that's it for our book today. So we'll go back to our PowerPoint. And we're going to talk about our project now. So our project today is to make our own treasure hunt. So the materials that you're going to need for this treasure hunt are a paper, and it says here a pen and a pencil, but actually what I suggest is using a marker. The optional materials that you're going to need are lemon juice, tea, and parental supervision. So we're going to add 2 things to make our own treasure hunt super, super fun. The first is tea dye paper, and the second is lemon juice invisible ink. And we're going to talk about each of these separately, and then we're going to talk about the treasure hunt as a whole and what you can do to make it fun. So let's start with lemon juice invisible ink. Here are the instructions for using lemon juice to make invisible ink. You squeeze some lemon juice into a bowl and add a few drops of water. You mix the water and the lemon juice together. Then you dip a cotton bud into the mixture and write a message on the paper. You can do this with any kind of utensil to drip the mixture onto the paper, but I would say a cotton swab works the best. Wait for your juice to become completely invisible And then when you're ready to read your secret message to somebody else, you use heat to activate it so you can hold it close to a light bulb. So I'll show you an example of what I did. So you can have a lemon in a bowl. You squeeze all that lemon juice, squeeze it all really hard into the bowl. And then you can use a cotton swab to soak up that lemon juice and transfer it onto a piece of paper. What that lemon juice does is, since lemon juice is so acidic, it breaks down the fibers in the paper, and the fibers, when they get heated, they burn more readily than the rest of the paper does. And so that's why we use lemon juice to create invisible ink. Before we move on, if there's any questions about the lemon juice, you can send an email to michael@tetonliteracycenter.org, and you'll see my email at the end of the video. You can also comment on the video with any questions you might have. Next, to make your treasure hunt super fun, you can tea dye your paper to make all your notes look super old and really fun. So what you need to do here is you brew some tea. So you can soak 3 bags of black tea in water. And when the tea is ready, you can just dab it onto the paper, or you can dip a paintbrush into the tea and brush it onto the paper. What I did is you can fill a shallow pan with tea and soak the entire piece of paper in it. And I'll show you pictures of what it looked like, what I did. So before I soaked my paper with tea, I did some things to make it look old. So old paper it's not just straight and nice and has no creases. Old paper, a lot of the time when we think about old paper, we think of paper that's really wrinkly and it might have some tears. So I tore a few pieces of paper and I put a lot of wrinkles in. I actually like the wrinkly paper the most, and that's what I ended up using for my clues. Then I had my tea brewing in this pitcher here, and I put my paper and my tea into this tray and let it all soak together. And you can see this picture here is an example of what the tea dye paper looks like compared to just the regular white paper. If you want your paper to be a darker brown color, you can add more tea for how much water you use. So I didn't use very much tea, and so that's why the color isn't that much different, although you can still tell a difference, and I like the way that it turned out. So here are my clues from my treasure hunt. It says, when you are getting colder, you are really getting warmer. And so I was doing this. I set up my treasure hunt in our kitchen. So when you are getting colder, you are really getting warmer. So my first clue, does anybody have any ideas where you think it could lead? My first clue leads to the refrigerator. So what I'm gonna do is I have my first clue here. I'm gonna roll it up into like a scroll. And I'm gonna leave it on the table to start the treasure hunt. Next, I have my second clue with my lemon juice message underneath. And it says, to find your treasure within its box, you must first have hot thinking like an ox. I'm not sure if oxes have hot thinking, but I knew that ox and box rhymed and I wanted it to rhyme. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take my next clue and I'm gonna roll it up and put it in the refrigerator where my first clue leads. And then when they find the second clue, I might have to guide them into holding it next to a light bulb to heat the clue and have my secret message then be able to be read. And I would tell you what my secret message is, but then you'd all know where my treasure is, and that would be the dumbest thing I've ever done, to just reveal where all my treasure is. So if you are having some trouble thinking of ideas for how you could set up your clues, I have a bunch of ideas for clues here. We can read through some of them together, and if you want more time to look at the slide, you can always pause the video. So this one here, I like these pirate ones a lot to the left. It says, yo ho, me lovelies, here be a clue. To find the surprise, you must seek out a shoe. Another one says, well done, me pirates, you're moving ahead. A secret is written where you go to bed. Keep on, me hearties, a pirate's got grit. You'll find the next clue where you like to sit. So the first one, it seems like the clue leads to a shoe. The second one seems like it leads to a bed. And the third one, on the top right, leads to somewhere that somebody likes to sit. And then there's a bunch of other clues. You can read through them. Maybe we'll read 2 more together and then we'll move on. One of them says, now listen up closely, me beauties, me gems. There's a landlubber watching. The next clue's on them. So it seems like somebody else knows where the clue is. Not far to the treasure, me brave sailing folk. The next one's beside a thing with a yoke. What has yolks? I think that this one might be next to an egg. Fine work, buccaneers. Now hark to me fable. There once was a clue who hid by a table. So this one seems like it's next to a table. So again, you can read through the rest of these and you can check out these clues on the right side of the PowerPoint if you'd like, but we're gonna go ahead and move on to the end of the video where we just say thank you. Again, if you watch this video, please comment leave a comment below. That way we know that you watched the video and we can add it to our attendance so that we continue to get funding to run our programs. And if you have any pictures of cool tea dyes or secret lemon juice messages that you want to share with me, you can send an email to michael@teatimeliteracy.org. If you have any problems getting your project set up, say the lemon juice isn't working or your tea isn't dyeing very well, you can always leave a comment on this video or send me an email and I'll work through and try to help you out. I hope you had a lot of fun watching the video and a ton more fun doing your project, setting up a secret treasure hunt for somebody else in your family to do. So thank you so much for watching the video. Hope everyone's doing well and have a good rest of your day. Bye.